Good morning, everybody. Welcome to WIC Works, a webinar on WIC Worksite Wellness. This is Margaret Aumann, the moderator from California WIC Association, and with me from California WIC are Lori True, our executive director, and Teresa Morris and Karen Farley here all together, and we have some panelists as well. We want to get started shortly. We've got over 100 people signed in with us, so we want to welcome you all to listening in on the webinar. We'll proceed, and I'll give you some.
Is our wellness coordinator here at CWA, and it's also our member services coordinator. Give you a tour of our program, which is all on our website and all available for you to adapt or use however you like. And then we'll hear from Tulare County WIC program, who was one of the early adopters of our WIC Worksite Wellness program, and we'll hear from both Lachelle Grigg and Peggy Redfern at that agency, and they'll tell you some of the challenges and some of the benefits of the program. The WIC Worksite Wellness was really an outgrowth of our findings that we needed to get our frontline WIC staff engaged and enthusiastic about adopting healthy food and physical activity behaviors before they felt comfortable and empowered to share those messages and experiences with the WIC participants that they serve every day. And those findings were very early on discovered during the FitWIC research and program development process many years ago. And so the WIC Worksite Wellness is really an outgrowth of the clear recognition that without being able to walk the talk, we would not be as successful with our participants. And so Lorene and her staff at the UC Berkeley was involved in FitWIC and really helped us develop this program, which is low cost, easy to use, and really beneficial. So Lorene, without any further ado, you can take it away and tell us what you found.
Thank you, Lori, for that wonderful introduction and for including me in this webinar today, and most importantly for your leadership, Lori, at CWA, for being really innovative and thinking outside of the box and being proactive, because every time I talk about the WIC research that we've been doing in California, people from all over the country commend you all for the work that you're doing in California and informing the rest of the nation. So thank you very much. So I'm going to share with you all a very recent study that we did, and you're actually the first, besides CWA, the first to hear it. It's not published yet, and we've just shared the report with CWA. So it's a study that we did to really look at what the impact of the wellness programs are at WIC. Those of you who may be familiar with worksite wellness literature know that there's many studies that have been done in a variety of different industries, but not in WIC. And so this is very new findings for us. And the purpose of our study was to investigate the extent to which the worksite wellness program at WIC agencies is having an impact on worksite support and also staff practices. And so you'll see as I go through the next couple of slides that we focus on those two topics. The way we gathered our data, just very quickly, we administered an online survey to 2 groups of WIC staff from a total of 55 WIC agencies across the state. And we focused on those 2 groups being staff that had a worksite wellness program at their agency, and we compared those survey findings with what staff reported when they didn't have a worksite wellness program at their agency. And you'll see as I'm going through my slides that the topics that we addressed were both the foods and nutrition served and consumed at work, and then physical activity, participation and opportunities at work, and then finally staff wellness policies, practices, and support for wellness. Now I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this first slide than the rest of the slides, only because as I go through them you'll see that they're all sort of the same format. So let me walk you through this. In all the slides, the darker green is the group of participants that have a worksite wellness program, and the lighter green are the results for staff that didn't have a worksite wellness program. And what this slide shows is that when a worksite wellness program was at an agency, the staff reported more support for physical activity and healthy eating. And this is a count on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the most supportive. And you can see in all cases we saw that the worksite wellness was there was more support from leaders and coworkers for both physical activity and healthy eating. And in many cases, as you see through the slides, there's a little asterisk on some of the topics, and that means even with our relatively small sample size, we found a statistically significant finding. We also, as I said earlier, looked at wellness policies in place at agencies with and without worksite wellness programs, and we found again that across the board, staff that had programs had more policies on foods, physical activity, general health, emotional and mental health, and also lactation accommodation. More wellness policies. We also found that agencies that had a worksite wellness program had a higher budget, or more often had a budget for implementing wellness at their worksite, and they also had a group, or at least one person, who was responsible for coordinating the worksite wellness program, and that again was more often in places that had a recognized wellness program than at agencies that did not. We asked about promotional materials. That would be posters, signage, stairwells, for example, on physical activity, on healthy eating, and on healthy beverages. And again, you'll see that that was more predominant at worksite wellness sites. The last couple of slides show participant activities, and this one you can see shows that participants at worksite wellness sites were more likely to participate in group physical activity breaks at work. They reported that their coworkers were also more likely to do so. And they also reported that fruits and vegetables were more likely to be served, and the sweet stuff was less likely to be served at work. In the past month, they also reported that their staff themselves were more likely to go to a wellness seminar, to participate in a weight management program, to have healthy staff potluck or lunch opportunities, and to attend a cooking class. So in conclusion, our findings very well support that worksite wellness at WIC definitely works, and Elmo is very excited about that. And our recommendations are that wellness programs should be instituted for staff at all WIC agencies. Right now, Teresa will share with you how many agencies are participating in the CWA Worksite Wellness Program, but not all of them are in California, and certainly we'd like to see other states adopt this as well. And further studies should also focus on the long-term health impacts to individuals, which we weren't able to do in this shorter, modestly funded study, but we would like to do in the future. And with that, I will turn it over to Teresa.
Thank you. Hi, this is Teresa Morris. I'm the Member Services Coordinator at California WIC Association, as well as a Wellness Coordinator for our team here. And I'm going to just briefly go over our website and our tools that you and your agency can use as a resource and to help build your program. So as you can see, we're on the home page of the California WIC Association. And if you go under Focus Areas and select WIC Worksite Wellness. The first page of this basically goes over the program and how it started and the importance of this initiative in all the agencies across California. You scroll down. It's very simple to get started by clicking on the bottom. And going through here, there's 5 core steps to getting your agency certified. The first, like anything else we do, is making that commitment and
Here you could just select this highlighted area and complete the commitment form and then fax it back to our agency. The next step is identifying who's going to be the leader and the wellness coordinator to make sure all the elements of the program get handled in your agency. And then like anything else, we like to do a pre and post survey of your employees, starting, you know, and it's written out for you here, and you could just have all of your employees complete the survey, you put it together with all of your paperwork, and then also do a post survey at the very end and see how it differences. And then here's the meat of it, and I will open this just so you can see the 10 steps of the work plan. There are 10 steps in no specific order that needs to be accomplished, and for every step there is an objective. So we ask that agencies select 2 objectives they think that their agency can handle and put together a plan on how they would achieve it. So it goes through quickly. This, I'm not going to go through every single one, but you can definitely get a hold of this document and go through here and complete your plan. And then the last is you want to document everything that you're doing. So I've had the great opportunity of seeing so many binders that have come through here when agencies are being certified, and seeing all the great things with pictures and you know, posters and walks they've done, potlucks. I mean, it is really exciting to see all the agency work. The last thing you just need to do is hit that certification button where my arrow is, and it has very specific instructions on what you need to do to receive your plaque presentation and congratulate your employees. Really quickly, on the left-hand bar, really easy tools to get through. One is the Document Center. These have all of your all the type of documents or tools that you might need is right here. We try to make it really, really simple for you to find. And then this is a great piece, wellness links and resources. And this is just a great thing to kind of plug through sometimes. There's some great information on nutrition and fitness and exercise. And I try to keep this updated as, you know, monthly. And then, let's see, and then the Agency Sharing Center. If any of your agencies are currently certified or they want to share anything, I really highly encourage you to contact me, and we'll get these documents and resources posted for others to see. And then having said that, just the last couple things on Get Connected. We do have a Wellness Yahoo group, so if you would like to be connected, just click on that link and I'll get you added. And we do weekly postings, and people can blog and, you know, have some postings and ask questions and share. Definitely follow us on Facebook. And for those agencies in California that are that have committed to the program, 24-hour fitness as well as in-shape health clubs have offered corporate discounts for all agency employees. So with that, if there's any questions, you can always email me or give me a call here at the office. And thank you for your time.
So you can see that we basically designed a very simple but comprehensive certification program. It's kind of like baby friendly, but not as, you know, intense. But really, at the end of when the program, the local agency has committed and gone through the planning process, implemented the 10 steps, which are quite flexible. You can kind of pick from a menu of the 10 steps. It's not very rigid, but it tries to be comprehensive. Then CWA staff, often accompanied by state WIC division staff, come out for a celebration and awarding of a certification and a very handsome plaque, which is then posted in the front of the office. And it may seem kind of hokey to some of you, but it really means a lot to the local agencies and the frontline staff. Not only the certification and the award and the celebration, but the whole process really recognizes that that WIC managers and management in general cares about the employees who work on the front lines in a pretty stressful job, a very stressful job. And so we often get very heartfelt thank yous, testimonials of people's personal transformations when they lose weight or get active. And so it's a really amazing program, simple as it is. So now let's hear from Tulare County, because they've been doing it for years, and they can tell you what works and what doesn't as you roll through this process. So Lachelle Grigg, who is a WIC dietitian and the WIC Worksite Wellness Coordinator for Tulare, is going to tell us her story. Lachelle, you ready to go?
I sure am. Thank you. All right, good morning. My name is Lachelle Grigg. Like she said, I'm a WIC dietitian and also the wellness coordinator for our program. So I'm going to share with you our experience. Tulare County was actually the first WIC agency to be certified, and this occurred on April 15th, 2010. And as you can see, I've included a picture here. On the left-hand side is Peggy Redfern, and she is the Tulare County Health and Human Services WIC Director. And on her right is Josie, and she was the first WIC dietitian that was the wellness coordinator with us. So some of the barriers, after speaking with Josie, we talked about some of the barriers that they worked through when they first put together the program. And so that included making sure that we got organized, motivated, and then also found the time. So getting organized, we needed to make sure that we met the criteria for becoming a certified work site. We also needed to get motivated, so we appointed a wellness coordinator, and then we also have a wellness committee. And that's comprised of at least one representative for each clinic in Tulare County. And then also finding the time, and that comes from support from our director and also our clinic managers, making sure that we're able to have those fitness breaks, have potlucks where we serve healthy foods. And then also changing of hands. And what I mean by that is anytime you have a wellness coordinator transition, there's the chance that the program will lose momentum, and I'm happy to say that over the course of the years, there have been a couple transitions, but we've always maintained the heart of the program and kept it strong. So now that I've discussed some of the barriers, I'd like to share with you the positive results we've seen. Firstly, it boosts morale, especially with the fitness breaks. When we're walking or if we're doing a Zumba DVD, it really creates a fun experience for the staff where we can just laugh at ourselves and laugh at each other and really get into the spirit of fitness. And it also creates a great example of the importance of physical activity and wellness goals for our participants, so that, you know, if they see us being active or making healthy choices, then we really reinforce the message that we have here at WIC. And so some of the requirements that we hold ourselves to make sure that we continue to be successful is continuing to stay organized and active. That means having monthly meetings with the Wellness Committee, sharing newsletters, having monthly challenges and annual training, and then continuing to coordinate with clinic managers and the director to make sure that we have that time available, and also motivate the wellness sparkers. And that's done by giving them responsibility for disseminating all of the information that takes place at those meetings so that they really have a part in what we do. And now I'd like to share with you what we're currently doing. So like I said, we have annual training. We also participate in fundraisers. If we have a WIC agency meeting, then we have healthy breakfast options or healthy snacks that people can purchase so that they're not having to go to the vending machines and getting chips and things like that. We also have created holiday basket raffles. We did a Mother's Day one and raffled those off, and that was very successful. This is a picture of what we most recently did, and this was at one of our meetings, and the Wellness Committee provided water, Fiber One bars, trail mix snack bars, and oranges. So for this one, I wanted to make sure that the items were non-perishable, so that if we didn't sell them all, then they could be stored until a later meeting. And monthly activities. So the wellness members, they volunteer to create a challenge at least one time a year. We discuss it as a group, but then someone volunteers and they put that together themselves, so they really own that challenge. We also do a drawing for the previous month, and we do like a $5 gift card to Jamba Juice or Target, something to motivate us to participate in the challenges and then also reinforce participation. And we also publish newsletters, like I said. So this is an example of what our January challenge was. So this was to stay hydrated, especially in the winter months. It's really difficult to do that since it's not as hot outside. So the challenge was drinking 6 to 8 8-ounce glasses of water each day. And we included a calendar, and that way you can cross off the days that you met it. And maybe if you didn't do it the day before, you could work a little bit harder the next day. This is an example of our January newsletter. It has the December winners and a little description of what they learned from the previous month's challenge. So December was maintain, not gain. And we got a lot of positive feedback that it really helped everybody here just be conscious about what they're eating when they go to parties, practicing portion control. And so January, it also lists the current month's challenge. And I include an article related to the challenge of that month. And then also we have a recipe corner, and staff will take turns volunteering their healthy recipes that we can feature in this newsletter. So some of the in-clinic Sparker roles, other than what we've previously discussed, is making sure that we bring healthy foods when food is served, lead the fitness breaks and encourage participation, distribute the challenges, newsletters, and wellness articles, and be an example to others. Some of the things we'd like to do going forward is have wellness tidbits when we sign on to our main program, just something to remind us all. Maybe go for a walk, stretch at your desk, have a serving of fruit instead of a snack that's a chip or cookie, things like that that can reinforce our daily behaviors. And then we'd also like to use our wellness funds to expand our exercise DVD library and reach out to local businesses for sponsorship. And that's all I have for today. I'll answer any questions that you might have. You could also email me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lachelle. That's fabulous. I'd forgotten you guys were the absolute #1 adopters of Worksite Wellness.
We sure were.
And we do have a number of questions, starting with a question for Lorene. The statistical significance seem to be limited to food. Were there significant changes in behavior that applied to behavior as well, or is the statistical significance just a factor of the small number in the sample?
Yeah, so we were very limited by the small number of the sample, and for those of you who are interested in statistics, one thing I didn't share with you is that this was a cluster sample. I don't want to get too technical here, but in other words, we had more than one respondent from the same agency, and when that happens, then you have to do some statistical manipulation in order to account for that, which even further reduces what we call power in statistics, our ability to detect significant differences. But so what we mostly looked at, knowing that this was a small, limited funded study, was policies and practices. We didn't focus on so much on behaviors of participants, but that's what we would like to do in the future. And we would like to do a longitudinal study because, as you know, the first thing that happens is you change the policies and practices, and then over time the behaviors change, and then hopefully with even more time, then the health outcomes would change.
Yeah,
so I hope I answered.
We wish we had enough money to do a major, study of the health impacts on our individual WIC staff of this intervention, but it's just too expensive. So we really concentrated on, were we successful in changing the organizational culture of the local WIC clinic? And because that's really the first step. First change the policies, then change the culture. Behavior change will follow, and after that, the health impact. So we're very hopeful that this is going to have a health impact. Whether we ever get the funding to actually document it in the WIC setting is questionable, but it has been well documented in the research literature, right? Right, Lorene?
That's correct. There have been studies in numerous work sites, not WIC, but numerous other work sites that have documented health impacts.
We have a good question here about the fitness break, because we did get, in the early days of WIC Worksite Wellness, we had some great training from Tony Yancey and her staff at UCLA. It's now called Instant Recess, but essentially it's a push strategy for everyone who wants to in the site, who's working away in their cubicles or at the front desk, to get up and have a quick fitness break, really coordinated and integrated into the work day. So, Lachelle, are you doing that at Tulare County, and do you have anything to add, Teresa?
Yes, we are doing that. We try to do one fitness break a day. So basically, if it's nice outside, we will take that time, and it's usually 15 minutes, a max of 15 minutes, to go outside and maybe do a couple loops around the building. And the main thing is that we're doing it together, so it's not separate. The other thing we can do is 8-minute legs. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with that DVD, but I have that kind of memorized, I guess. So we'll do an impromptu fitness break just here in the office, and I'll stand at the front so that we can follow the exercises together. We also have DVDs that we can use, or some days we just do stretching.
Yeah, so for those of you who are outside California and aren't familiar with this, be sure and check out our website, because the push strategy, or essentially universal fitness break for all employees, is really happening in the WIC sites. Everybody just stops what they're doing. Participants are asked if they want to participate. It's kind of hilarious in some ways. I've been in, the staff files out to the WIC waiting room. The participants are wondering what the heck's going on. And then they do their little workout, and the kids who are waiting in the chairs jump up and join, and pretty soon the moms are up, and it's really a great community-wide effort, and it makes things more fun, more relaxed, less bureaucratic. It's fabulous. So we've done a lot of trainings, and it's really a great strategy. Everyone enjoys it. Everyone does it. It's not required. It's not mandated. But if you can get up and move a little bit, you're encouraged to join. So that's our fitness strategy. We've had some questions about certification. Just to be really clear, this is a California-specific program. Although of course we'd love to go to Hawaii and certify all the WIC agencies out there. We're limited to our state, but we're just encouraging other states to get involved, either through the state agency or if you have an association. You can just use this. We're happy to share. There's no trademark or anything like that, because it was developed with WIC funds, so it belongs to us all. The other question is, would you come out and certify non-WIC agencies? We've got some Head Start agencies interested. And if you're interested in this, we'd love to share our model, and let's talk. So give us a call, and we'll set up a meeting. We might be able to teach you how to do this or get a grant to help you do this. It does take staff time. We can't necessarily do it for free, but we'd love to talk to you about partnerships. So please give us a call. Other questions?
Yes, there was a question regarding the objectives and goals, and the question was, besides choosing the objectives, are we able to modify the wording of each of the 10 goals for clarity or based on local preferences? As long as it falls within the goals, however you want to word it within your agency that makes it a little more simpler is fine with us. If you go onto the website, it does talk about documenting all of the steps, and there's a little more instruction there. So hopefully that answered your question.
There was several questions about funding. Maybe Tulare folks, can you give us some insight as to how you fund the activities that you do?
Well, as far as funding, Lachelle talked about some of the fundraising that they do to support little gifts for the employees who enter the drawings through participation in the challenges, because some of that cannot come out of WIC funding.
But
now we have purchased a few DVDs and things, for the program, but in terms of promotional items, for prizes for the challenges, we've gotten a grant in the past, a little mini grant from Walmart to purchase some things for staff for prizes and things for the challenges. But so you do have to do a certain degree of fundraising.
This is Teresa with CWA, and just to piggyback on what Peggy's shared, on the website in the Document Center there are already letter templates for nonprofit local agencies that they can use and just customize it to their needs. as well as a letter for state agencies that they can use as well. So hopefully that's another resource that your agency can use in trying to either fundraise or get donations for incentives for your staff.
Yeah, and in terms of, there is a minimal application of staff time and labor involved with keeping the program alive and lively as the months roll by so that it doesn't get stale. And we've never had any problem having local agencies justify some use of staff time. Of course, it's not a full-time position by any stretch.
Right.
But it's really a form of staff training. Recruitment and retention of staff is key. So it really falls into the general workforce, scope of work for WIC staff. And here at CWA, we also fundraise and gain sponsorships. And then we purchase modest incentives and ship them out to our certified agencies as a way to keep them incentivized and eager to participate in drawings, et cetera, with their staff. So we haven't had too much trouble funding this, but it is not we don't believe it should be a high cost, high labor program. It should really be integrated into your daily life. Much like we in California have basically focused on breastfeeding, changing our breastfeeding environments in the local clinic. Now we're just essentially spreading that good health habits and promotional of healthy habits to staff wellness, which should really be part of our daily life. So I hope that answers people's questions.
Right. The training part, and you're trying to have staff model behaviors for the participants, and so the wellness and the activity and things that it's a good plays into what you want the participants to do. So it helps us to have a wellness program.
That's right. In our first webinar ever, the Nutrition Education and Fitness Program evaluation, as we roll out our new food packages, we started with staff wellness. And the evidence in that study showed very clearly that the staff wellness activities, which preceded the rollout of the food package in a campaign format, really made the difference in terms of health outcomes and changes in habits and intake among WIC participants. And those resources are on our website. So we'll be posting the recording and all the PowerPoints back on our website. You can see the link here. Make sure and log on to our calwic.org website and then go to WIC Worksite Wellness for a complete world of resources which we're happy to share with you. And even if you're out of state and want to get into the groove with us, join our Yahoo group, and Teresa is the guru. She'll keep you energized and active. And with that, our staff here at CWA is going to go out for a walk, right, guys?
Yes, we are.
In the sunshine and get some exercise. Thank you very much for being online. We'll see you in a couple of weeks for our next webinar, and go WIC. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you all.